You ever notice how everyday life is basically a big collection of little rituals that make no sense, but we do them anyway because somebody told us it's normal? That's the beauty of modern living. You don't have to invent comedy. It's already there, waiting for you in the way people stand, shop, talk, and panic about absolutely nothing. Take mornings, for example. Every morning starts with the great alarm clock betrayal. You set it the night before with all the hope of a brand, new human, and then it screams at you like a cheap plastic enemy. And what do? We smack it, we curse it, and then we hit the snooze button like we're making a deal with time itself. 5 more minutes. Like time is gonna negotiate. Time doesn't care. Time is laughing. And we keep hitting snooze until the morning is basically over and we're running around like a squirrel that just remembered it left the oven on. Then comes the sacred coffee ritual. Oh, coffee. People treat coffee like it's a religious experience. Nobody just drinks coffee anymore. Now it's a performance. Tall, grand, venti, skinny, double shot, half foam, soy, almond, oat. Coffee isn't a drink, it's a personality test. And people actually argue about it. They stand there in line rehearsing their order like they're about to deliver a Shakespearean monologue. Yes, I'll have a triple shot caramel macchiato with extra whip, but not too much whip, just the right amount of whip. And can you make it at exactly 172 degrees? The barista just stares like, "Lady, it's bean water." And the best part, after all that fuss, they take one sip and go, "Ugh, it's a little bitter today." Of course it's bitter, it's coffee. Bitter is its job. And don't even get me started on traffic. Every single person in traffic thinks they're the only one who actually knows how to drive. Everyone else is an idiot, right? The guy in front of you is too slow. The guy behind you is too close. The guy next to you is in your blind spot. And somehow it's all a personal attack. Horns honking, faces glaring, people yelling like the road is a therapy session. And meanwhile, the same people who scream at other drivers get out of the car and say, "Boy, traffic was terrible today." No, traffic wasn't terrible. You were traffic. You're the traffic, but nobody wants to admit it. We all think we're the star of the road and everyone else is just background noise. Shopping is another masterpiece of meaningless activity. You ever notice people go to the store with a list and still end up buying everything but the list? Milk, bread, eggs, they say. 2 hours later they come home with scented candles, a box of crackers shaped like giraffes, and a giant inflatable pool toy shaped like a flamingo. But they were on sale. Yeah, because nobody wants them. And Supermark, it's know exactly how to play you. They put all the stuff you need in the back, so you have to walk past 100 things you don't need. You go in for bread and come out with a kayak. Well, it was right next to the pasta. Of course it was. That's the trap. Then there's the obsession with lines. Humans love to stand in lines. We don't even question it. You see a line, you join it. What's this line for? I don't know, but it must be good. People will wait an hour for a sand, which they could have made at home in 3 minutes. And while they wait, they complain about waiting, but never leave. They pull out their phones, check the time, sigh dramatically, and then stay right there. It's like suffering is part of the fun. I earned this sandwich. I waited my whole lunch break for it. It better taste like heaven. Then they bite into it and go, it's fine. Of course it's fine. It's a sandwich. Phones are a whole other ritual. Remember when a phone was something you used to call people? Now it's a little glowing rectangle that controls your entire mood. People check their phones like they're waiting for the meaning of life to text them. They can't even walk without checking. They cross streets staring at their screens, trusting that the universe will stop all moving vehicles for them. And if you forget your phone at home, instant panic. Oh no, what if someone needs me? Relax, no one needs you. The only thing you're missing is a bunch of emails about car insurance and a photo of someone's lunch. But people treat it like they've lost an organ. They'll actually turn the car around to get it. I can't go through the day without my phone. You did it for centuries. Your ancestors crossed oceans with nothing but a compass and some bread. You can handle a trip to the store without Instagram. Even the way people talk has turned into a ritual. Phrases that mean absolutely nothing get tossed around like they're profound. It is what it is. What the hell does that mean? Of course it is what it is. That's why it's it, or at the end of the day. Why does everything have to happen at the end of the day? Can't it happen at lunch? People say these things just to fill air, like they're afraid of silence. And then there's the classic, we should get together sometime. Sometime, the most magical day that never comes. People love sometime, because it sounds friendly but doesn't require an actual date. Yeah, we'll get together sometime, a translation. I hope I never see you again. And have you noticed the obsession with being busy? Busy is the new holy word. Everyone is busy. Nobody ever says, I'm just hanging out doing nothing. No, it's always, oh, I'm so busy. Busy doing what? Rearranging socks, updating apps. People wear busy like a medal. I'm busy, therefore I'm important. Meanwhile, they spend half their busy day watching videos of raccoons stealing cat food. But hey, it's busy work. The funniest part of all these rituals is that everyone knows they're ridiculous, but nobody stops. We complain about alarms, traffic, lines, phones, and pointless small talk, but we keep doing it every single day like it's a job we can't quit. And maybe that's the real joke of modern living. We're all actors in a play we didn't audition for, reciting lines we didn't write, pretending it all makes sense. But it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to keep going, one snooze button at a time. Technology was supposed to save us time, right? That was the big promise. Machines would do the boring work so we could finally relax and enjoy life. And what happened? We got the machines, but now we're busier than ever, running around trying to keep up with the very gadgets that were supposed to give us freedom. It's like we hired a babysitter and then started babysitting the babysitter. Every shiny new device comes with 1,000 updates, settings, and passwords, and somehow we're the ones doing all the work. You don't own the gadgets, they own you. You're just the caretaker for a collection of tiny dictators that beep, buzz, and light up whenever they want attention. Remember when a phone was just a phone? You picked it up, you said hello, you had a conversation, and then you hung up. That was it. Now a phone is a camera, a map, a wallet, a jukebox, a weather station, a flashlight, a calculator, a gossip column, a slot machine, and an anxiety machine all in one. And people treat it like it's a newborn baby. They polish the screen, buy it little jackets, carry it everywhere, and panic if it even thinks about running out of battery. You ever see someone when their phone dies? Pure despair. They look at the black screen like they've just lost their best friend. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Maybe look up at the sky for once. The sky is still free and it doesn't need charging. And don't you love how every update is supposed to fix bugs and improve performance? Translation, we broke something you didn't notice, and now we fixed it in a way that breaks something else you won't notice until next week. People spend hours updating devices they barely understand. They tap agree on terms and conditions that are longer than most classic novels. Nobody reads those. You could slip anything in there. By agreeing, you give us your house, your car, and the naming rights to your firstborn. Click. Sure, whatever, just let me use the flashlight. Computers were supposed to make life easier, but they mostly just give you new problems to solve. You sit down to write a simple email, and somehow you're locked in a battle with a spinning wheel of death. The machine freezes, the file disappears, and the little help box pops up to ask if you'd like to send a report. A report to who? The machine itself. Dear computer, I tried to do a thing and you stopped me. Please advise. And printers are the kings of silent rebellion. You can talk to satellites in space, but you can't get a printer to print a single page without a paper jam. It's like the machine is mocking you. Out of ink. It says, you just put in ink. Where did it go? Are there tiny ink thieves living inside? Then there's the great password circus. Everything needs a password now. Email, bank, shopping, even your toaster probably needs a password by now, and it can't just be a simple word anymore. No, it needs to be a mix of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols, and a drawing of a unicorn riding a bicycle. And you can't reuse the last one, or the last 10, or anything even close. So people end up with passwords so complicated they have to write them down on little scraps of paper, which they then lose. And when they forget the password, the site makes them answer security questions they wrote years ago. What was your childhood best friend's favorite fruit? Who remembers that? You end up locked out of your own life because you can't recall whether little Timmy liked apples or pears. And don't forget the obsession with being connected. Everyone wants faster Wi-Fi, stronger signals, more bars, like they're running an airport control tower. The second the connection drops, people lose their minds. They wave the phone around like they're searching for ghosts. Why isn't this working? I have full bars. Maybe talk to the person sitting right next to you. They have full ears. People used to fear being alone in the woods. Now they fear being alone with no signal. What if something happens? What, like you might have to look at a tree and think about your life? Scary stuff. Even the so-called smart gadgets are hilarious. Smart TV, smart watches, smart refrigerators. Pretty soon the couch will be smarter than the people sitting on it. These devices are always listening, always suggesting, always updating. They claim to learn your habits, which is just a polite way of saying they're spying on you. Your fridge will send a message, I noticed you're out of milk. Would you like me to order some? No, fridge, mind your own business. Next thing you know, it'll be criticizing your diet. Do you really need that third slice of cake? Shut up, refrigerator. You don't know my life. And look at how people brag about technology like they built it themselves. Someone buys the latest gadget and suddenly they're a tech guru. Oh, you're still using last year's model. They say with that smug little grin, mine has facial recognition and voice command. Yeah, great, now your phone can spy on your face and listen to your arguments. Congratulations. Meanwhile, they spend half the day yelling at it because it doesn't understand a word they say. Call mom. They shout, and the phone replies, ordering mop. Perfect. The funniest part is how these gadgets create problems we didn't even have before. People worry about battery life like it's a matter of national security. I'm down to 10%. They scream as if the device is an oxygen tank, or they panic about storage space. I can't take a picture, I'm out of storage. Maybe delete the 500 blurry photos of your lunch. Nobody needs that many pictures of a sandwich, but instead, people buy more storage so they can keep hoarding digital junk. It's like renting a bigger garage to store old newspapers you'll never read. And of course, technology always promises freedom, but gives you new chains. You can work from anywhere, which means you're expected to work everywhere. People answer emails at dinner, take calls in the bathroom, and check spreadsheets on vacation. The gadgets that were supposed to free us just turned every place into an office. Even the bathroom is now a conference room. People sit there scrolling, typing, multitasking like their lives depend on it. And for what? so the machine can congratulate them with a little ding noise. Good job, human. Now go charge me. What's even more ridiculous is how people worship the very gadgets that frustrate them. They curse at them, smack them, threaten to throw them out the window, and then cradle them like a precious pet. Drop a phone and people dive for it like it's a baby falling off a cliff. They'll risk a sprained ankle to save a piece of glass and metal. And once it's safe, they gently polish the screen and whisper, "I'm sorry." They don't talk to their grandparents that nicely. The grand irony is that all these gadgets were meant to save time, but nobody has any time. We're supposed to be faster, more efficient, more productive, but everyone is rushing, panicking, and complaining about being too busy. Maybe the machines aren't making life easier. Maybe they're just giving us new ways to waste the time we were trying to save. Instead of enjoying the extra minutes, we spend them resetting passwords, updating software, and arguing with a talking fridge. So here we are, surrounded by blinking lights and endless notifications, running on a treadmill we built ourselves, convinced that the next upgrade will finally set us free, when deep down we know the joke's on us. Have you noticed that people spend their whole lives chasing happiness like it's some kind of hidden prize at the end of a supermarket aisle? It's like everyone got a memo that said, "Happiness is out there somewhere. Keep moving and buy stuff until you find it." And nobody ever thought to question it. We treat joy like it's a limited edition product you can only get if you hurry before the shelves are empty. People shop, scroll, diet, redecorate, upgrade, and then complain that happiness still hasn't been delivered. Of course it hasn't. You can't FedEx contentment, but that doesn't stop anyone from trying. Look at shopping, for example. People don't just shop for what they need anymore. No, that would be too easy. They shop for the thrill, the experience, the journey. You go to buy a pair of socks, and suddenly you're lost in a jungle of buy. One, get, one deals, loyalty points, and limited, time offers. The store whispers, "Don't just buy socks, buy a lifestyle." And people believe it. They fill their carts with candles they'll never light, gadgets they'll never use, and snack packs that expire before they open them. Then they post a picture of it all online like they just returned from a heroic mission. "Look at my haul. Yes, congratulations, you conquered aisle 7, and the best part, nobody even enjoys the stuff once they get it home. They tear open the packaging, toss it on the shelf, and start thinking about the next thing they need." Happiness lasts about as long as the receipt. People spend hours hunting for deals, bragging about deals, and then forget what they even bought. Half the time they end up returning it anyway. The return line is like a confession booth for shoppers. "Forgive me, store, for I have purchased without purpose." It's not just shopping. People think happiness is hiding in self-improvement too. They buy books about how to be happy, attend seminars about how to unlock their potential, and take courses that promise enlightenment in 3 easy steps. And after all that, they're still cranky. You can spot them in coffee shops reading a book called How to Be Joyful with a look on their face like they just swallowed a lemon. Happiness can't be unlocked like a phone screen. It's not a puzzle you solve by drinking kale smoothies and meditating next to a scented candle. But people keep trying because there's always someone ready to sell a new method. Then there's the food craze. People chase happiness through diets like they're negotiating a hostage situation with their stomach. One week it's low carb, next week it's no carb, then it's all carb but only on Tuesdays. Everyone has a new miracle plan. "This smoothie will change your life." No, it won't. It's blended fruit. Your life will still be your life. You'll just be chewing it through a straw, and restaurants know this game. They put words like artisan and gourmet. on the menu so you can feel classy while you eat something that used to be called a sandwich. Oh, it's not just bread and cheese, it's a rustic panini. Right, rustic, that's code for we didn't bother cutting the crust. And let's not forget the endless upgrades. People treat happiness like it's waiting in the next version of whatever they already own. The next phone, the next car, the next couch with built-in cup holders. They buy a perfectly good thing, then 6 months later they're convinced it's outdated. I can't be happy with last year's model. Really, did the old one suddenly stop working, or are you just addicted to the smell of new plastic? Companies love this. They release tiny updates and people camp outside the store like pilgrims waiting for a miracle. This new one has a slightly shinier button. Oh boy, now life will finally have meaning. Even vacations have turned into a happiness competition. People plan elaborate trips, take thousands of pictures, and spend half the time worrying if they're having enough fun. They post every sunset, every cocktail, every blurry shot of a landmark just to prove to the world that happiness is happening on schedule. And if the trip isn't perfect, they come home complaining about how stressful it was. The beach was nice, but the Wi-Fi was weak. Imagine traveling halfway across the planet just to complain about the strength of invisible waves. People even chase happiness in other people's opinions. They measure their worth in likes, followers, and comments, as if digital thumbs can fill a real heart. They refresh screens like gamblers pulling slot machine levers, hoping for that little hit of approval. Somebody liked my photo, that must mean I exist. It's a never-ending feedback loop of neediness, and the crazy part is, everyone knows it's empty, but they keep doing it anyway. Like pigeons pecking a button even after the food is gone, just in case today's the day the happiness pellet drops. And while people are busy chasing, they completely ignore the simple stuff that actually feels good. A walk outside, a laugh with a friend, a quiet moment with no buzzing gadgets. But no, that's too easy. Modern living makes you feel guilty for enjoying something that isn't packaged, branded, or monetized. If it doesn't cost money or generate a receipt, people don't trust it. You mean I can just be happy for free without a subscription? Yes, but where's the fun in that when you can pay for a deluxe platinum happiness package that renews automatically every month? The whole game is designed to keep people running. The stores, the ads, the apps, the upgrades, they all whisper the same sweet nonsense. You're almost there. Just one more purchase, one more click, one more diet, and you'll feel complete. And people believe it because the alternative is too simple. Nobody wants to hear that happiness might actually be about doing less, wanting less, and noticing more. That doesn't sell anything. You can't slap a price tag on enough. The irony is that everyone already knows this deep down. You hear it all the time. People say, money can't buy happiness, and then immediately start shopping. They say, you can't take it with you, and then spend decades collecting it. They know the hamster wheel goes nowhere, but they keep running anyway because everyone else is running, and nobody wants to be the one sitting in the corner saying, hey, maybe we don't need this wheel. So people keep chasing, hoping the next thing will finally close the gap between what they have and what they think they need. But the gap never closes. It just moves a little further down the aisle, like a mischievous store clerk rearranging the shelves while you shop. And that's the punchline of modern happiness. It's always almost here, almost enough, almost within reach. Almost. The real comedy is that the search for happiness has become the very thing that keeps people from finding it, like running on a treadmill to get to the next room. The faster you run, the more you stay in the same place, sweating and wondering why the view never changes. And maybe that's the lesson nobody wants to hear, that happiness isn't hiding in a sale, an upgrade, or a shiny new gadget. It's just sitting there, quietly waiting. while everyone sprints past with a shopping cart.